Okay, here we go. Hey guys, we are live, and I am Allegra Jackson, the founder of Women into Networking W.I.N, and we are getting ready for our conference next month in March, Women Empowering Generations, and I am sitting with our co-host, Rachel LaForce.
Hi.
We are inside Skewed Orbit Studios. If you have not been here, okay, you need to be here. All right. Rachel just introduced me to her beautiful venue, and so I want you guys to pop in. And also, when you pop in, I didn't even tell Rachel this. When you pop in and when you do your thing here and you create content, we're actually going to give you a discount on your conference tickets. But before we do that, we want you to get to know Rachel and what she's going to be bringing to the conference. Rachel, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Rachel LaForce. I'm a comedian. I'm a intuitive speaker and a media entrepreneur. So I'm the co-founder of Skewed Orbit Studios here in Old Fourth Ward. I co-founded it with my husband, who's working hard in the other room. I am a mother. I am a humorist, a humanitarian. I'm really dedicated to putting people in their alignment. So all of my work, like I said, I am a comedian, an intuitive speaker, and a media entrepreneur, which even straddling all three of those lanes feels like a lot to people, but it's not. It's just the different ways that I show up. So if you were an artist and maybe you do oil paintings and you also do pottery, you're still an artist. You're just working with different mediums. That's the same way for me. So all of my work is about reconnecting people to their purpose and their path, because I believe that the quickest way to heal the collective is through the individual.
I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah, and actually, Rachel was kind of schooling me earlier about how she's done this in her own life. So I'm really excited about how we're bridging these generational gaps between our families and ourselves. Before we get to the conference part, right? Why the healing is hilarious? Why is that so important to you to bring that message to the forefront?
Because we're finally, as a collective, having open conversations about trauma, shame, abuse, the shadow side. And, people, we have merch that's like, I go to therapy, these are things that we're finally talking about. Shout out. But I want to make sure that we're also moving with levity, because I see a lot of people that get stuck and make healing or trauma their personality. And we don't need that. It's not fun, and nobody wants to hang out with that person. So, I think as somebody, I've experienced, not to brag, but many a dark night of the soul. I'm definitely the generational cycle breaker of kind of it is finished, it is done in my family. My mom did a lot of that work as well. And obviously that's everything that we are going to be experiencing on this weekend, that it's not one of us, it's all of us. But I had the grand occupation of being the one that says the buck stops here. And so I've had to experience a lot of grief, a lot of shame, a lot of uncovering. And people are always like, how do you do everything that you do? And I'm like, because we're on a spinning rock in an infinite universe, and we don't have to take ourselves so freaking seriously. And I think that when we remind people that the most universal truths are hidden in the specificity of our lives, it reminds us that we're more alike than we are different. And that's what comedy is, right? Comedy is connection. And so I think rather than only speaking from a place of wisdom or authority, therapy speak, all of these things where it's like blah 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 blah. Like we're healing hopefully so that we can have the capacity to hold joy.
Yeah.
Because our bodies and our nervous systems, literally our lineage, have gotten used to handling and making space for trauma, abuse, shutting down, sitting down. And so the purpose of healing is to slowly sit with those things and hopefully replace them with the ability to lead, to love, and to sit with joy. So that's why healing is hilarious.
That is good. I'm still learning about the brand myself.
Sure.
But from my standpoint, guys, as soon as I met Rachel, I was like, oh, sold. Because I think your personality, who you are, kind of just exudes from you, right? And then you get to teach us how you created that person, right? Because I don't think we've always been this person. Well, we are, but it's just us building through that, right?
Yeah, I mean, this has always been, I've been a comedian my entire life. So really my story was like, I did a whole TEDx talk on it, so feel free.
Shout out to TEDx.
Shout out. Go and watch that. But it's, you know, the quick elevator pitch of my story was of always having this mentality of like, oh, I get picked second, everybody else gets to go, so low self-worth. And I'm also ADHD, and so the way that I process the world is just different. And so, you know, we didn't value that. There wasn't like, you know, throw a rock now and you can hit a creator who's like, I'm ADHD and here are all my tools.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't exist in the 90s, okay? They were just like, here's Ritalin, good luck to you in your life.
Period.
And that was the recourse.
No wonder why we're so great today.
Right. And so I found a lot, but I've always been a performer. That's always been the thing. And then I went through a bad breakup. I got sober on accident. I had a spiritual awakening in a bunk bed in Aspen. I got dropped by my agent, and then my kitchen caught on fire. And so that was in a span of like a really short amount of time. And so what I was going through wasn't so funny. But I was getting on stage and I was telling the jokes that I was used to saying, but I was not confident about them anymore. And another time, you can ask Alex, I came home, I mean, just distraught. I was like, I'm not a comedian anymore. I'm like, I chose to heal these things. And like now, the one thing that makes me feel of value, of a connector, of a way to be seen, and I don't have that anymore, I'm drinking tomorrow. Like, forget this healing journey, I'm going back to tomorrow. So it really has been, this has always been me, but now I'm in a position to lead and to share and to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not changed, but I have just flipped, like where it used to be shame, low self-esteem, no, you is what led, is now I know like it's okay if those feelings still come up, like we're challenged all the time if we are attuned to what's happening, but it doesn't mean that I have to lead with that.
Yeah.
And so really for me, Healing is Hilarious is about balancing both things, right? Is balancing both the ability to be in purpose and in leadership, and also tending low, growing and stretching.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I do want to ask a little bit more about the extension of you, because, you know, once you do good with yourself, then it extends out of you, right? From your babies to your business, like everything. Let's talk about the babies first.
Sure.
Because I didn't even know you were a mom.
Yeah.
And you just handled yourself so gracefully. Like, when I met you, I was like, this girl is a mom. And then, like, when I talked to you on the phone, you was like, listen, girl, I got 2 young kids, and I'm How is that for you in this journey? Like, how has that changed you?
I've done some hard shit, excuse me. I've done a lot of hard things, and I thought quitting smoking was the hardest thing that I've ever done. I could run laps around that version of myself now. Having 2 young kids and running a business, but like, let's just say having 2 young kids, because it's not a medal for me to be like, and look at all these other things that I'm doing. That's not the flex that we need here. Just being present for 2 young kids is not for the faint of heart. It is the most, like, I'm like, we're not walking around finding other people that are parenting and being like, you go, you're doing it. Like, it is just, it truly, because it is so challenging and humbling. And what I find is the most beautiful thing about being a mom is that I'm constantly called back to presence. When I was 18, I got a tattoo that said, be present. It still says be present, but now it just looks like bepresent, because, you know, it's 15, 20 years old. Yes, and it was from my roommate, Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea, it's her handwriting. But be present at 18. At 18, who at 18, again, like, this is why I've always struggled. I'm 18-year-olds, like, be present. Which, like, might be a Gen Z thing, but when I was a millennial, everyone was like, get hammered. That's the tattoo you should have gotten. So, yeah, I think what they do is they bring me to a sense of presence that is non-negotiable, that slowing down and being with them. And also, I don't talk a lot about motherhood in my content or otherwise, because I feel like it's still something that is so sacred to me. So I'm open to talking about it, but a lot of times people are like, oh, I didn't know you were also a mom. And I think for right now, I share so much about my life. I'm so open that what I'm learning and growing and going through as a mother right now is so sacred and close to my chest. It's kind of one of those things that for now, it's mostly for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And when you think about kids, because we talked about the business being that add-on kid, right? Like, I mean, outside of everything else. When you look at the legacy that you're building and the gaps that you're already bridging, what does that look like to you?
Well, it's a lot. It's kind of like eating an elephant, right? How do you do it bite by bite?
Yes.
I think it's just trusting that I'm doing a good job. Oh, that makes me really emotional. I think it's just trusting that I'm doing a good job. And I share that for everyone who's listening and everyone who's out there that is climbing mountains, moving things, knows that their vision is large and maybe has been slow to start because it feels so overwhelming. And often when things are overwhelming, we have this feeling of like, in your higher power, however you define it for this conversation, we'll say spirit. Spirit gives you something and you're like, okay, well then I guess you'll just drop it into my lap.
Right.
And then 2 years goes by and nothing's happened and you're going, excuse me. And they're going, excuse me,
Right.
We're not in the 3D. Why don't you get to building, And then we'll help you along the way. And so I think that for me, it's just having to trust that I'm doing a good job with my kids and I'm dedicated to have the honor of raising two boys that will become men, and the honor that is in a way that I get to heal a lot of things about my inner child and my relationship to men or interactions and things like that in a lot of ways. Not that I'm using them for my healing, but meaning that is that generational cycle and that we have that opportunity. And yeah, did that answer the question? I feel like that question was so.
No, it was good. I loved it. I loved every bit of it because I think it really went to the heart of the matter, right? Because as moms, I'm not a mom myself, but I've been around a lot of moms, and I know that there's so much more than just I had a kid and I'm watching and I'm looking and and I'm still working on me. Your child is attached to you. Mm-hmm. Like that never goes away. So there's always I think, reckoning of like, who am I, what am I becoming, and working on yourself. But I do love how you're just kind of in tune with who you are, like, and I'm okay with where I'm at all times. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think I've gotten okay with being like, I'm not, it doesn't matter what I do, there's gonna be people that don't get it or don't like it. There's gonna be people who are like, it was good, but I have notes, or you should have done this or you should have done that. And I think I'm like, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you're gonna be 40 this year, so maybe just like let that shit go and like just do you.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, listen, I'm an actor. I'm open to direction. Okay. I will always take notes. I always of course, I want to be the best. I want to, when it is my time and I'm at the pearly gates and they say, what do you have to say for yourself? And I want to say, I had a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to know that I lived the experience of being human. And I think I have been in such a place of healing for almost 8 years and really reckoning and really figuring out who I am and how I want to show up, that like I'm okay to be seen, flaws and all. Today's a perfect example, right? I'm like, I'll be there at 10. Yeah. I'm schlepping stuff in at 10. I'm sweating. I don't have makeup on. Then I got somebody else in the studio. My husband's showing up and everybody needs me. And it's like, what a great thing to have. That there's multiple people who are in your orbit and want to work with you, and you have these opportunities, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it'll still all get done.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It takes the weight off.
Yeah,
I love that. So keynote, okay, y'all get it together. Take the weight off, because ain't nobody out here paying bills but you. Okay.
It's true.
So, all right. So Rachel, you brought us through a lot of who you are. Now, I do want to hear the future you, and then we're going to go to the conference, okay? So the future Rachel, the future you of who you think of, because we manifest everything, even sometimes we don't think about it. What does that look like for you?
It's pretty big.
Let's go. I love it.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. It is, I was like, I can chat while you, adjust that. There's also a few other plugins too. There we go. This is what we're talking about. Messy action. I want to make sure it's charging for you. Okay. What does it look like? It looks pretty big. I don't know entirely what it looks like or how it happens, and I have let that go, and my job is simply to show up and to work with people and to be in aligned spaces and places and be with those people. But yeah, it's big. It's book tours, it's theater tours, doing what I do on stages now, and doing it for audiences, and it's being able to do it in a tour bus and bringing my kids and my family along, and being able to, that it's not just something I get to experience, and it's something that my family gets to experience. And it's meeting with people and being with people, and it's the reward not only for me, but for all of the work that I've done, and it's a reward for everyone in the women on my maternal line for all of the things that they didn't get to do or they didn't get to express. It makes me really emotional of like, it's not just for me. Like this W is not just for me. And I think it's also easier for me to accept that my future is very big and that it always has been, now that I've removed like myself. It's cool that I get to be the one, don't get me wrong. Like there's a lot of things that are glamorous, but also like schlepping around the US is exhausting.
Yeah.
Being in and out of like, there is a lot of like work and weight to it as well, but I think that that's definitely what lies ahead in the not so distant future. And so really for me, it's just practicing and preparing so that I can be the person that feels comfortable to be in those spaces. Because my big thing right now, and this is a huge thing that I'll say preach, because I do online, is like, your gifts are not meant to live on your vision board. Like,
you did say that in that.
Oh yeah, you commented. I can't say that is Alex, because he heard me say the video, and then he goes, "No, you need to tell them that they need to take their action, or they need to take it from their vision board to their
decision board.
For their decision board."
Listen, I was watching that one. Y'all need to go back to Rachel's page.
Yes, yes.
That was so good.
But that's exactly right. Where I think we, especially as women, there's a lot of like, don't stand out, don't do this, and depending on your family dynamic, when you do stand out, everyone's like, oh, you think you're better than us? Like, there's so much kind of like yuck that we have to move around. But I always remind people, it's like, right, but that's not for you to solve, and your job is also not to save the world, but your job is to move through and show up, because you were anointed and you were given these gifts as a means of making the world better. And I think especially where we are right now with the world, which is on fire, but we're good and we're safe, and we're going to make it through. But the faster that we get there is for everybody to literally turn your light on and get to work.
Yeah, that's so good. Listen, y'all better watch Rachel, because she's getting y'all together, okay? All the way together. So thank you for that intro.
Sure.
I would like to talk about the conference.
Please.
You got me together for the conference.
Okay.
Okay. I told y'all about the giveaways. Okay. So I said we had a sponsor with the flat screen TV, the diamond bracelet, the giveaway for the 7-day, 6-day getaway in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I'm telling Rachel about these things. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. God, I don't know if we should give them away to people when they walk through the door. What do we do? Rachel goes, no, honey. Because Rachel has not only been a TEDx speaker on stages before, right? She's also been through these things before. She's had experience. And so this is what community brings, being connected to the right people. And so as a co-host, she said, well, this is what we should do. And y'all, the experience that you're going to have because of Rachel's suggestion alone is powerful. But Rachel, what do you think that people are going to need to feel when they come to this conference? Because these conversations are heavy. You've already kind of leaned forward into that when you have your mother, your grandmother, your daughter, you, right? And different generations of breaking generational curses, different generations of figuring it out. I know that I talked to you about it, and I said, I think we need to make people laugh, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel that people are really going to be cautious about, and what do you feel will lighten the mood for them in the room? As a comedian, I'll say from your perspective, because we did have a little conversation about it.
Sure. I mean, I can't help but like, if there's a joke there, I have to take it, even in like, semi-uncomfortable, like not the place for a joke. I'm like, nah, well, I'll decide that. But no, I think that like, it's, listen, it's a long day. It's a long day. like each individual day, and there is a lot that's happening. So if you are a note taker, bring a notepad. Like, prepare in a way of like, I know that we're all gonna, like, everyone's gonna come cute, because you gotta get that content. I'm here for it. I also
Stop by Scoot Over
Studios. We're out here. But I also really encourage you, like, bring an extra bag, bring comfortable shoes, bring something to move with, make sure that you have water or snacks, make sure, like, know that what is the information and things that are going to be shared, the way that we're going to move through the day, it is moving. We're not just going to move through the day that the clock is going to go by, and of course it will. That's, how we frame time, but you are going to be moving. I always say, when I do circles, and I never know who's going to show up, I'm always just like, I trust in prayer that whoever needs this day, the people are going to show up. And what happens 100% of the time, someone's like, oh, I was struggling with this with my dad, or oh, I was struggling with the same struggle or the same loop. What we're moving through is everyone that showed up. So that's exactly what's going to happen on both of these days. The weekend is, or it's not a weekend, excuse me, the 2 days, the conference as a whole. And so that's really what I encourage people of, like, I'm going to come. I would say I talk heavy so you can live light, right? I'm gonna bring levity. I'm gonna show up and be there with Dr. Deontay, and I'm so excited to get to share the event, the framing of it, and get to witness everybody. But honestly, I know that doesn't directly answer the question, but that's what I was thinking of. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could feel all of the energy and everything that's gonna come through for those 2 days. So I'm like, come cute, but also get ready to get comfy.
Yeah, I feel like that answers the question though.
Okay.
They didn't need that many details or anything.
Okay.
Because they're going to experience that through their itinerary. Y'all go look at the itinerary. Don't play around. Because we not only have Rachel co-hosting and making y'all laugh, right? There's also activations and things, the giveaways. Rachel said to me, she said, throughout the conference, I'm not only going to lighten the load for people who may feel that emotional weight, right? Because we're going to have real conversations. Also, when it's time to do the giveaways, y'all are going to be jumping out your seats, okay? And we're doing that throughout the entire time. So, guys, I'm really excited. I do want to do one last thing, because I know that for those of you who are going to be coming into the conference, I said I was going to give you guys a percentage off your tickets if you come into Scoot Orbit Studios. If you come into Scoot Orbit Studios and you grab your content package, you get 20% off your ticket at the conference. We're having this literally all the way down to the conference. Rachel is the only person that's going to be able to tell me if you qualify for that 20% off, okay? I don't know which package she's going to pick for you to have to choose. But either way, we want you guys to support women entrepreneurs that we support. We're a community. And when we say you're going to walk into a conference, but you're going to walk out with a community, we really, really mean it. Rachel, I want you to tell them a little bit about Scoot Orbit Studios here, because you chose this place for a reason, and you told me your heart about it, but I want the audience to know, the woman behind the brand, number one, and why you chose this place and what they can do while they're in here.
Sure. Coming to you live from Scoot Orbit Studios. My husband and I are both stand-up comedians by trade. We met doing stand-up, and we really chose this place because of the location. It's right off the Beltline. It is, this is really, kind of, I don't know, this is like the first thing that made me think of, like, it really is like by creators for creators. Like, that is what we made this space for. We have lots of different people that aren't creators that come through this space all the time. It's a meeting headquarters. We do lots of different things. We have lots of corporate companies that come through here, but our heart and soul is really helping creators connect to themselves, whether that's through content and otherwise. The room that we're coming to you live in right now, this is like our small podcasting space. So you can come in here and you can do up to 4 people podcasting comfortably in this room. We also it's a full 2,100 square foot space, so you can host, we do book launches, you can release your music video, we do sound baths, honestly, if you can fit it in here, we can do it. That's kind of like, other than a petting zoo, we can pretty much make it happen. And that's why we did it. Our tagline is create something different. So, literally every angle, photo, anything like that you could imagine exists either on our social media, or you can go to skewedorbit.com or skewedorbitstudios.com, and you can see all the different layouts, all of the events that we do. And I think that can speak for the space even better than I can.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rachel. Y'all listen, first of all, go check out the website. It's right up there on the live stream. And also we'll drop it in the chat so you guys can read in the comments. We're gonna replay this on the Women into Networking channel as well again. Rachel also has a podcast that I want you guys to go to. Is the podcast on the Instagram? That's the same one, or is it?
Yeah, I have. You can just go to at Rachel LaForce on Instagram or TikTok, and then you can find the podcast, and it's called Healing is Hilarious.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you again.
Yeah.
And guys, listen, make sure you grab your tickets to the conference. Don't miss out. You can already see that we have some amazing people, amazing hosts, co-hosts, Rachel, of course. And we look forward to seeing if you grab your content package so you can get your discount on your ticket. We'll see you at the conference.
Bye.